Yesterday's gone and tomorrow may never come, but we have this moment today. Welcome. So glad you chose to be with us today. It's a beautiful day regardless of temperatures or the wind. The sun's going to shine and we're going to have a hayride later, right?
Right.
Oh, such excitement. Well, you're up for it. All right, guy. Well, there will be many thoughts generated here today. Some of them from memories, some of them from what just happens here. It might be just something you hear, or something that you see, or something that you smell that will take you back. But it's all perspective. Case in point, when you think about perspective, this is a few years ago, but I picked up Jada from school. She was in kindergarten, so Alex was with me. She wasn't in school yet, and we had to go to the grocery store. So got the cart. Alex wanted to get in the cart and ride. Jada was walking alongside me for a little while, and then pretty soon she's ahead of me. And all of a sudden she just stops, and she looks at the canned vegetable row, and she goes, "He ate too many green beans." She saw a Jolly Green Giant. Her perspective. I really didn't plant him. But yeah, it's all of our perspective. Another perspective kind of thing was about a little girl that was in church with her mom. And the minister was preaching fire and brimstone. You know how that goes. It wasn't a Quaker meeting, obviously. But the minister says, "And we are all but dust." And the little girl in that moment looked at her mother and said, "Mommy, what is butt dust?" Ah, well. I toyed with whether to tell that one or not. But then you got the guy that's on the side of the riverbank, and he yells across to the other one, "How do you get to the other side?" Denny?
You're already there.
You're already on the other side. But we are all here together. We're here to worship. And let's see what we got going here. I haven't even studied the program. We're going to start with "He Lives," hymn number 164. Please stand with me.
He lives,
too. They wrote that one pretty high. But I had some guys up here in the front helping me out. I wish you could have seen them. All right. We got a church update and correspondence, and Lynn Reece is going to share that with us.
Morning. Great to see everybody here today. Nice crowd. Really good. Church update. We've had people again this year dropping in all through the year to check their genealogy, get pictures of their relatives, whatever. And they're just thrilled to find a picture of their great-grandpa or grandpa back here amongst the records. We've had people this fall from a group of them came in together, and they were actually related about 4 families around here, Clemens and Reese's and a couple others. But they had members from Washington State, California, Texas. They were all here gathered to see what they could find. And they were, like I say, they're always thrilled when they find a picture of their ancestors along with some, genealogy information. We also had, the last ones that were here were the Reddicks, and a group of them came in, and Terry Reddick, I didn't know, he still lives down at Marshalltown, and he's actually in my brother's class, and they all had a good time looking for different information. We get correspondence each year. This one's from Mary Louise Lambarkis. When I was growing up, it was Louise Whitehead, for those that don't recognize the last name. She always writes a good letter. Dear Dee, enclosed, find a donation to contribute to the upkeep of the place that meant so much to me growing up. It seems like such a big place until I saw it years later, and now looks as small. Thank you for taking such good care of a place so important to those few left in the community that once was their place of worship. I am now 90 years old, and there are not many left that I know or that know me. Denny will be a good speaker for this great event that you hold each year. So I've got a couple more letters, but I'm going to leave the envelopes in the back tables, and they have the addresses on them. If anybody would like to copy those down. And I know that some of these folks would like to hear from you. This one's Dear Friends of Honey Creek Church. As within great sadness, we inform you the passing of our mother, Margaret Guthrie. Her obituary can be found on the internet. Passed away in April 2019 at her home in Colorado at the age of 90. Regards, family of Margaret Guthrie, Steve and Mark Guthrie, sons. And we got a nice letter from Marjorie Stiletto, Marjorie Clampett Stiletto, for those who know Marjorie. Dear Honey Creek Church Preservation Group, once again, I'm happy to hear from you. My life is as follows. I am 93 years old and in good health. I live in a small, comfortable retirement apartment, part of a group of apartments in Union City, California, not far from Fremont, where I lived so many years. We are well taken care of and have many activities available. I try to keep active. My children visit many times and phone a lot too. Just recently, I was very fortunate to go to a grandson's wedding in Oregon. Another grandson flew with me and took care of me. I used a walker wheelchair and get around. It was great fun. I don't plan to get to Iowa as the trip would be too difficult, but as I love to hear from people from my own home area. I hope all the historical items are being well preserved in the church. Someday some of my children may want to visit. With best wishes to everyone, Marjorie Clampett Stiletto. At the top she says, I love visitors. So if you're ever out in California, I guess you got an invite. The last one I have to read is from Dennis and Phyllis White. Dear friends, second Sunday in October means it's time for Honey Creek homecoming. We have many fond memories of attending church at Honey Creek and at homecoming reunions. When we moved to New Providence, we lived in an upstairs apartment in the house next to the New Providence parsonage. Before our first Sunday, we had an invitation from Iva Street for Sunday dinner, and that was the start of our attendance and later membership at Honey Creek. We regret that we will not be attending homecoming again this year. I am the treasurer of Winneshiek Quarterly Meeting, which meets in the spring at Sturgeon Bay and in the fall at Walton, Wisconsin. Walton can't seem to get away from the second Sunday in October, so I am committed to be there. We will try again next year. Sincerely, Dennis and Phyllis White. So, again, it's great to have a really nice crowd and enjoy the rest of the morning.
As we continue and turn to hymn 213, I want to say thank you to Linda. We were thinking, who could we get to accompany? And Linda says, I'll do it. So nice when volunteerism happens. So she was excited to do it too. That's even better. So let's sing together. I know whom I have believed. we're gonna have an offertory. You playing that, Linda?
I think so.
All right, great.
Somebody else is ready to do it.
No, I don't see anybody jumping up, so you're good. All right. If you guys would do the offering. All right, we're going to be blessed with the Honey Creek Quartet. And I'm looking and I'm guessing you two got to be in it. So we got Justin Weber and John Raines.
Howie Marsh.
Huh?
Howie Marsh.
Howie Marsh and Arlen Daleske. Did I get them? That was 4, right? All right, they're going to share with you.
We're just doing 2. Correct.
What are we doing first?
Heal the land.
And the spiritual.
Heal what? Just those 2.
Is that?
Just those 2.
Heal the land and the spiritual. Got it.
Just in way of a little more introduction, Howie Marsh is, he had an uncle, dad, and a grandfather that were all at the Honey Creek Quartet years ago, all at the same time. So it's nice to have Howie with us this morning, we think.
I'm just doing one part today.
Yeah, your grandfather sang bass, didn't he?
Yep.
But your dad and brothers sang
Dad and Fred sang tenor.
tenor. And we got Howie singing second tenor for us.
Far away the noise and strife upon my ear is falling. Then I know the sins of earth beset on every hand. Doubt and fear and things of earth in vain to me are calling. None of these shall move me from you. I'm living on the mountain, underneath the starless sky. Praise God, I'm drinking at the fountain that never shall run dry. Oh yes, I'm feasting on the manna from the bountiful supply, for I am dwelling in Beulah land. Far below the storm of doubt upon the world is beating. Sons of men in battle long the enemy withstand. Safe am I within the castle of God's word retreating. Nothing then can reach me, 'tis Beulah land. I'm living on the mountain, underneath the cloudless sky. fountain that never shall run dry. Oh yes, I'm feasting on the manna from the bountiful supply, for I am dwelling in Beulah land. Viewing here the works of God, I seek in contemplation. Hearing now his blessed voice, I see the way he planned. Dwelling in the Spirit here, I learn a full salvation. Gladly I tarry in Beulah land. I'm living on the mountain underneath the cloudless sky. Praise God. I'm drinking at the fountain that never shall run dry. Oh yes, I'm feasting on the manna from a bountiful supply, for I am dwelling in Beulah land.
Then we'd like to do a Negro spiritual entitled Steal Away.
Steal away, steal away, steal away to Jesus. Steal away home. I ain't got long to stay here. My Lord calls me, he calls me by the thunder. The trumpet sounds within my soul. I ain't got long to stay here. Steal away, steal away, steal away to Jesus. Steal away home. I ain't got long to stay here.
Green trees are bending, poor sinner stands a-trembling. The trumpet sounds within my soul.
I ain't got long to stay here. Steal away, steal away, steal away to Jesus. Steal away home. I ain't got long to stay here. Tombstones are bursting, poor sinner stands a-trembling. The trumpet sounds within my soul. I ain't got long to stay here. Steal away, steal away, steal away to Jesus. Steal away home. I
within my soul.
I ain't got long to stay here. Steal away, steal away, steal away to Jesus. Steal away, steal away home. I ain't got long to stay here. I ain't got long to stay here.
Well done, gentlemen. Very nice. Here's the story about a man named Danny who was raised by Jesse and Bonnie Reece. He has a sister and her name is Peggy. They're a happy family. He finished high school, then on to college. Then a friend introduced him to Marlene. They got married and they raised their 3 children in our community. Now today he's here to share a special message. Please listen to what he has to say. So I give you now our homecoming speaker, Denny Reece. Yes, Denny Reece. Yes, Denny Reece. He's our speaker today at Honey Creek. Come on up.
We can all go home now.
Good morning, class. When Judy first contacted me about being the speaker for today, I think I replied, "You must really be desperate." Thinking that she would in turn reply with, "Oh, no, you'll be fine." Still waiting for that. Nothing, so.
Look at the crowd, Denny.
So here we are, Honey Creek Homecoming. Celebration, kind of like a big old birthday party. And it's a time for us to come back and visit old friends and reminisce. But you know, sometimes as we go about our busy lives, our history gets lost and forgotten. Now, you may or may not want to take notes because there may or may not be a quiz at the end. The roots run deep, and the roots are strong. Now, if you'll note here on my whiteboard, oh dear, I knew I was going to forget something. Well, we'll adjust. Imagine, if you will, a whiteboard. And on this whiteboard, there is a timeline. We're going to fill in that timeline. Iowa became a state in the year 1846, and James Polk was President of the United States. Millard Fillmore was President of the United States in 1851. And in 1851, 44 Quakers left what is now Yadkin County, North Carolina, and headed west. And they arrived in Hardin County, Iowa in September 1851. Honey Creek Monthly Meeting was organized in the year 1852. Eldora became the county seat of Hardin County in 1853. And in that same year, Franklin Pierce became president. The first Honey Creek Meetinghouse, which was a log building, was erected in 1854. Des Moines became the capital of Iowa in 1857. And in that year, James Buchanan became president. After a fire in 1859, a new Honey Creek Meetinghouse was erected. Abraham Lincoln became president in 1861. And in 1861, North Carolina seceded from the Union and joined the war for Southern independence. The Civil War was fought from the years 1861 to 1865. And it was in 1865 that President Lincoln was assassinated. World War I was fought from the years 1914 to 1918. In 1916, this current meeting house was constructed, and Woodrow Wilson was president. In September 1951, I was born. It was exactly 100 years after my great-great-grandfather, Levi Reece, left North Carolina and came to Iowa. The roots run deep, and the roots are strong. Now, I did not attend Honey Creek Friends when I was growing up, but I did come here for many activities and services. I can remember coming here for a week in junior high for a day camp, with the opening services at the meeting house and then spending the days at Reece Park. I also have fond memories of having a high school youth group here. During nice weather, we would have our lessons outside, right out there, usually followed by a serious game of volleyball and refreshments in the basement. And I'm sure many of you have specific memories of Honey Creek as well. They may include worship services, weddings, funerals, potlucks, and other gatherings. But when I came here as a youth, I can tell you what I did not think about. I did not think about those early settlers that first started the Honey Creek monthly meeting. The thoughts never crossed my mind about those folks in the year 1851 who traveled 1,200 miles by wagon and foot in only 2 months to settle here at Honey Creek. Nor did I know or care that 4 of those early settlers that left North Carolina were over 70 years of age. Can you imagine? I sometimes have to think long and hard before getting out of the recliner to go look for the remote. And I keep thinking about the first person who came up with the idea and proposed it to the others. Hey, I've been thinking, let's load up the wagons and travel 1,200 miles to the west of the Mississippi. Shouldn't take very long. And the response from one of those 70-year-olds might have been, "Hast thou lost thy mind?" Or words to that effect. But They sold their homes and property, loaded what possessions they had room for, and began their exodus west. And we will probably never know if they ever had second thoughts during the trip. Did someone say or think after about a month of travel, maybe this is far enough. Let's just stop here. But they did not stop. They pushed on. They did not know how to quit. That word was not in their vocabulary. And regardless of how difficult that trip was, they never gave up. I also did not think about the fact that after they crossed the Mississippi in southeast Iowa, making their way through Salem, the future sites of Marshalltown and Marietta, and finally on to Honey Creek, that the first item on their agenda after building cabins for shelter was to build a church, a house of worship. Now, what a wonderful accomplishment that must have been. And they did not run down to Lowe's or Menards to get what they needed. They got their materials right off the land. And as difficult as that must have been, they never gave up. But even with all that, I still gave no thought to the thinking and decision-making that took place when their house of worship burned down and a new one needed to be built. After all, they had just walked halfway across the continent. They were not going to let something like that stop them. They built a new one, and they did not give up. And I gave no thought to the fact that after using that meeting house for a while, a decision was made to construct this building. Little did I think about what was involved in the planning for and erecting this building. Never, when I walked through that front door or walking around the grounds, could I have imagined the work and craftsmanship involved. It was not important to me. But it was important to them, these early Quakers. They were strong in their faith, resolute, brave, and determined. I am sure they saw and experienced things in North Carolina that we can only imagine. And I am sure they experienced all kinds of hardships during the trip west and even after they settled here. But they didn't give up. And now they were home. They had taken a chance. They had traveled, sacrificed, and worked to find their new home. They put down their roots and raised their families. They came here and made a home. They had their homecoming. So as we come here today to celebrate Honey Creek Monthly Meeting of Friends Homecoming, it is important that we keep all of that history in mind. Honey Creek Friends is our anchor to the past. So what journey are you on? What mission are you hoping to complete? Does it seem overwhelming or daunting? No matter how difficult our journeys may become, no matter how tough some days will feel, we must remember and learn from our ancestors who first settled here. Regardless of your passion, you must not be afraid to take a chance, and you must never give up. So in conclusion, I would challenge you to find a reason to smile, to have gratitude for what you have, and recognize that every single day we have here on this earth is a gift. Cherish that gift. Share that gift. And never give up. Now, there will not be a quiz today.
I am truly thankful there's no quiz. I saw this pen up here and I almost got out of my chair to write down dates and names, and so well done, Denny. Appreciate it a lot. It is a lot of perspective. We have no idea today with the conveniences that we had, what those folks went through. And I know there's young people here that it's going over your head. Someday you'll get it though. You'll understand, and you'll look back on this era and think, how did we survive? But we do, we persevere. Lots of history, like Denny highlighted, and these guys highlighted with Howie's ancestry to this. We're going to have another special from Elizabeth Daleske, who has some roots here. Believe it or not, she comes from the Reece line too. Our grandmother, my mother's mother, was a Reece. So I'm going to goof up how great hers is, but Elizabeth has some roots here, and her dad's going to accompany her. That's cool. Thank you for being willing to share with us.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. The Lord hath promised good to me, His word my hope secures. He will my shield and portion be, as long as life endures. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun.
That was beautiful all the way around. The guitar music, your beautiful voice. Thanks for being willing to share, Elizabeth. That was special. And your brother agrees. We're going to have a time of open worship and sharing. I encourage you to, follow the leading. If you have something to share, stand up and share it. If you want to come up here to the microphone, that's great too. But please be obedient to the leading.
Judy,
Yes, ma'am.
can I say something?
You sure can.
I came to Providence in when I was 16 years old. And ever since that, I came to every home coming all the time. And I still love them, and I had to come today.
Maybe 2 years ago, I was born 2 or 3 miles from here in the Gary Barn. My best friends there were the calves and the cow and the calf cans. And I came to Sunday school here, and the joy was having Crayolas and a white piece of paper. I never had that at home until I was kindergarten. Somehow colors and tabs always stayed with me. When the Honey Creek Quartet sings, I still get a cold lump. I'm always keeping track how many of the original families are there. I think you were just getting started in 1945, and my folks had the quartet to sing at my brother's funeral, who had just been brought home from Iwo Jima. Thank you, quartet, for lots of memories. Thank you.
People who know me know I can't not talk, so. I just wanted to add a little bit to the history that Denny said. In 2016, it was 100 years that this building had been built, so we did a little special recognition for the building. And I did some research on how that decision was made, who decided. And so I had to go to Oskaloosa to the Iowa Yearly Meeting to look at the minutes, the monthly minutes, to see what kinds of discussions there were. Well, if you know anything about minutes, they don't really put much of a discussion in, they just put what was decided. But in early 2000, I'm not going to get the year right, maybe it was 2016 or maybe it was 15, but anyway, they started talking about needing a new church because
1915.
What'd I say?
20.
1915. I've always done that, so it's not that I'm getting old. So they started talking, it showed up in the minutes. And somehow the decision was made, and the building was started in August, and it was dedicated in November. You couldn't get a house built, I don't think, today in that amount of time, let alone, and most of the work was done by the members. Are the pictures on that wall back there of the building of the church? We used to have some on the bulletin board. Oh, over there in that framed picture. So if you wonder what it looked like as they were building it, you can stop and look at that picture.
I grew up in this church. Our family sat in about the third row here. There were 6 of us kids and, of course, 2 parents. And so we about filled a pew there. That was our reserved pew, so either the second or third. One thing I learned coming to church was that it was okay to have fun at church. The church doesn't have to be serious. There's those times. And over the years, I learned there were times to be serious, and when it was time to have fun, they're not necessarily simultaneous. Remember, we had Sunday school, the adults had the Sunday school class parties, and they brought their kids. We participated in that too. Downstairs, we played games, and it was a lot of laughing. Every Thursday, one Thursday night a month was Honey Creek, I don't know what we called it, church night. Church night. And we had a potluck dinner and then a program afterwards. Shirley's dad usually emceed, is what I remember, the program, various programs, a variety of programs. Howie's another one of your uncles, I think, Don Marsh, is he an uncle or relative anyway? Cousin of your dad. And I remember this because, and I think I've told this before, but he was a musician, composer, and he would have us give our phone number, like our number now is 5337, and he'd had the keys numbered, 1 through 8 in an octave, and he'd pound out 5337, 533, and it'd turn into a song. He'd play a song. And everybody next to somebody would turn out their phone number, and he'd play it a little bit, and it evolved into a song. That kind of stuck in my head. And then Phil Rash grew up in New Providence, an opera singer, sang opera. They sing in the Met, I think. But anyway, he was one of our guests one night and sang various songs and all. But one of them I remember was about the old woman. He said, "Old woman, will you do my washing?" Another verse, "Will you do my laundry? Will you do my cooking, my baking?" And the old woman would say, "Hey, I'm very hard of hearing. I can't understand you." And then he'd say, "Old woman, would you like to marry me?" "Why, certainly, I'd marry you," right? I remember that one. Part of our Sunday school class parties were, we'd have a softball game in the backyard. And I think your dad was the pitcher usually, and your dad, Harry Clampett, Shirley's dad, was the umpire. And it was just fun, let us kids play, the yard doesn't look very big back here, but it seemed awfully long when you hit it to the trees, or something, when I was young anyway. And I remember one game, somebody hit the ball and it went down the chimney of our church, and the game was over. We didn't have a spare. Denny was remembering having things out on the lawn, and when Ann and I first came back here, we were teaching the 9th grade Sunday school class at that time, and Judy I think you're the only one here today that was in that class. I just was kind of looking around.
Yep.
I think so. Andrea Cook was, Andrea Brown, Dan Nelson, Dan Whitehead, Richard Perry,
Julie Wood.
Yes.
John Marsh.
Yeah. And then there a Quakerdale boy with a White, was his name White? Last name?
Roger Whitehead.
Whitehead, yeah, Roger Whitehead. Anyway, Ann has these great ideas. Well, she does. She said yes to me, so.
That doesn't give it.
Not much credence there, is there? So an idea was they were doing something about raising money for hunger. Well, you can give your money, and it went to, I don't know what it went to, World Relief, something like that. But she thought, well, why don't our class have a party an overnighter here at the church. We came in the afternoon and spent the night, and we were out on the lawn. I remember we played this game. It was trusting one another. And we weren't sitting as we stood around in a circle, one person in the middle, and they would close their eyes, and maybe we blindfolded.
No.
They were just supposed to relax, and we'd catch it.
Pass the person.
Pass the person. Okay, you remember that too. Anyway, it was fun, and we spent the night here. And so, I don't know, was it the whole day, next day? I can't remember what time. It was 24 hours anyway. And we went back to our place and we ate ice cream. We didn't eat. It was a fast. That was the idea. It was fast. Put a little meaning to what hunger is what the idea. I forgot what the idea was. Yeah. I just like the fun part. Another story that I remember my mom telling. My mom was a Henshaw, and her maiden name was Henshaw, and she tells about, I think it must have been her granddad, who would have been Benjamin Franklin Henshaw, and they were he wasn't one of the first ones that came from North Carolina, but eventually we have Yadkin County in our family too, through the Henshaws and Hadleys. But anyway, Mom tells a story about one Sunday morning, my time up? Told Ann to set an alarm. It was Sunday morning, the preacher was preaching, and noticed like some of these guys do down here, they'd fallen asleep. And the preacher kind of noticed that too. And so it was my grandfather, my mom's grandfather, was the person who'd fallen asleep, and he said, "Isn't that right, Brother Hinshaw?" And that woke him up, and he stood up and dismissed the service. So, have fun.
How many of you were married in this church? In this building?
Well, you were married on the lawn.
Well, that counts. That counts. How many of your parents were married in this church? I can't say that. Not very many.
I'm back here.
Okay.
Sisters.
Okay, that's good. How many have a family member of any extended, you can go out as far as you want, who were married in this church? Okay, I just wondered.
See how it works? Somebody says something. John was remembering that fast that we had. I was a freshman in high school, and I remember feeling so hungry. It was 24. We ate toothpaste. You guys didn't know that, did you?
Uh-oh.
Another little bit of things I remember from Pass the Person. It would have been classic if you would have come today with black tape on your glasses because somebody landed on John and broke his glasses.
I'd forget. That's another memory. You can hear somebody somewhere.
Oh, yes.
And I remember if your mother took you out, they'd always take you downstairs, but you could still hear what was going on downstairs.
Well, I grew up in this church, and we had a cradle roll downstairs, so my name 75 years ago was on that cradle roll. And my dad told me he took me out once when I was a little, and that was all. So, but he took me to the car. But I grew up in this church. It's a very special place to me, for me. And some of the people, I remember in my high school class, John's mother was our teacher, and Howie was in the class, and what happened to Jim? Jim Martin, was in the class, and Shirley's older sisters, and John's older sister. We met downstairs. It was part of one of the memories that I have. But Jack and I were also married here. Another thing I remember is Jane Whitehead over there. One time when our family was leaving, Bud Whitehead ran up to the car to show us this picture of this lovely Texas woman that he was in love with. That made a big impression on me. I don't know how old I was, and I thought, wow, this guy is in love. So many people here that a lot of memories. So this is a special place for me.
Mentioned Jane Whitehead. My sister married Wayne Ray, who was a Baylor graduate from Waco, Texas. And he came up with Miranda, where you were here at church, and saw Jane, and he said, "There's a Baylor beauty." And she was a Baylor beauty. He recognized her, just not even knowing her. He called her, said to us, "There's a Baylor beauty."
It's so fun to hear the stories, and I'm sorry you guys don't have more in touch with what it's all about, but I am thankful that you came and you're enduring those stories. Who knows what it'll mean to you in years to come, but I'm glad you guys are here and being as respectful and tolerant of what's been going on. It is a special place, and we've highlighted history. But in my mind, you know, the concrete, the bricks, the mortar, the wood, it has nothing to do about what kept it together. It's about the people. And you hear that in the stories that people are sharing today. We are a relational creature. And we need to stay in touch this way, remember things, but more than that, continue to create those memories. And as Denny highlighted just how difficult it must have been for our ancestors, for just the people that came from North Carolina, wagon, walking, I would encourage you to really consider doing the hayride this afternoon. I don't know if you were following me until I got to that point, but we do have a wagon with some hay on it, and we're going to go ride through Reece Park later on today. But we've got a meal downstairs. We got a couple more things up here yet to do, but I want to make sure that anybody else who would like to share may do so. I don't want to cut it short for anybody. I see a hand over there. Do you want to share something?
Yeah, I'm just very thankful for Danny sharing what he's got today, and I liked it a lot.
If that didn't make it worth it, Denny, that was really sweet. Thank you for sharing that with us. Is there anyone else? Okay. Well, let's sing our hymn number, I gotta put my glasses on, 344. You all have been sitting a long time, so stand up with me and let's sing this one together.
To
'Cause 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 'cause
All right, the Men's Honey Creek Quartet's gonna give us the benediction before we go downstairs and partake of the good food.
You may be seated. Yeah. Oh. While we're gathering, we want to do a couple songs actually or a song before we get to the benediction. God so loved the world. It's John 3:16 and verse 17. So, and we didn't tell Linda this, but if there are any mistakes, we're just pointing to her because she can't see us. God so loved the world.
God so loved the world. God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whoso believeth in Him should not perish, but have everlasting life. For God sent not His Son into the world to condemn the world. God sent not His Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through Him might be saved. God so loved the world. God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whoso believeth in Him should not perish, but have everlasting life, everlasting life, everlasting life. God so loved the world. God so loved the world. God so loved the world.
Should say there's a few chords in there that are supposed to be really clashing. There are. We wanted to sing that for years, but finally got the nerve up to try it this year. We want to close then with the benediction, and then there'll be some instructions when we get done with this song. This is one we sang at Honey Creek, just the first verse usually as we close, in my era when I was around anyway.
Wait a minute.
It's not the right key.
Yeah, I didn't think that was. Should we point to her?
Let's just start right there.
Okay. There you go.
Savior, again to thy dear name we raise. With one accord, our parting hymn of praise, we stand to bless thee ere our worship cease. Men still delay, wait thy word of peace. Grant us thy peace upon our homeward way. With thee began, with thee shall end the day. Guard thou the lips from sin, the hearts from shame, that in this house have called upon thy name. Grant us thy peace, Lord, through the coming night. Turn down for us this darkness into light. From harm and danger, keep thy children free. For dark and light are both alike to thee. Grant us thy peace throughout our earthly life, our balm in sorrow and our stay in strife. Then when thy voice shall bid our conflict cease, call us, O Lord, to thine eternal peace.
Now, as we prepare for the meal, we also ask the blessing. And so we're going to sing our blessing, and you're welcome to join us. We're going to do a round for health and strength and daily food. We praise thy name, O Lord.
Very good. That's right. Good job.
So we're going to sing it through once, all of us, and then then it's a round. So Justin's going to start for health and strength, for health and strength, for health, and then we're just going to do that. If we count it right, whatever Justin quits, we're going to quit. So if you want to
Power.
yeah. If anybody want to kind of try to fill that in, I'm not going to divide you up or anything, but
3 sections.
yeah. But we need 4 of them.
Oh, we need more.
Well, we can use the back room, but you can be 4 back there if you want.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That'll
work.
So in your part, just follow the person. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do it together, so join us the first time through.
You guys want to stand up and join us? Is that easier?
Sure. Yeah, stand up.
Breathe better.
For health and strength and daily food, we praise thy name, O Lord. For health and strength and health and strength and health and strength and daily food, we praise thy name, O Lord. For health and strength and daily food, we praise thy name, O Lord. For health and strength and daily food, we praise thy name, O Lord.
Wasn't that fun?
So thank you. You're at ease.
Thanks for coming. Let's go eat.
Thank you, Linda.